Hey, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Let's Go Fishing show. Right quick, I'll introduce the guest here with me at the table. It's Joey Williams. Joey, glad to have you.
Good to meet you. Good to be here.
Greg Carter, glad to have you, sir.
Good to be here.
All right, these guys are coaches, mentors, parents of the some gentlemen from the Wartburg Central High School Bass Club, and I've got them over here with us tonight. Herschel, if you don't care, swing over there and let me introduce those. They're on. Oh, well, heck, they took center stage here already. All right. Tyler Carter. All right. Tyler, pass the mic on over there to Jackson Williams. Hello, Jackson. And Isaac Walker. Glad to have you gentlemen here with us tonight. And we'll be back to you in just a minute. I've got a couple of announcements to make, and then we're going to come to you and get some information and get things rolling here. So, all right. Folks, stay tuned. We got a good show planned for you tonight. These guys are going to tell us all about this high school bass club fishing. And, you know, it's getting to be a bigger and bigger thing all the time.
Yes, it is.
And I got a little video here we're going to play here shortly and that kind of thing. But first off, I got to say hello to Dad and to Bill and Polly and Gay up there in Clinton. And Mike, Mike's not on the screen with me right now. He's sitting over here in the background. But I can't thank Mike enough, folks. He's the glue that makes the thing work. So I really don't thank Mike enough for what he does for me, and takes me fishing and puts me out in the middle of the lake, and you know, won't let me get close to the brush piles. Right, Herschel?
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, so I can't thank him enough for doing all that, you know. But anyway, he's here. Let me get to what we're fixing to do here. Herschel, can you show us that 3-minute video and then 9 minutes? Dang it. I thought it was 3. That's my mistake. We'll get to that shortly. We'll get some more info from these gentlemen here with me and get these boys on the microphone, let them tell us about their club. This video that I've got, though, is really interesting. If you're watching and, you know, you're thinking about getting a high school bass club started in your school, this is some good information that you'll need to get that up and get it running. I'm not going to spoil the video by telling you much more about it. In other words, I want these guys to tell us about Central High School Bass Club. Joey, how about leading it off?
Well, they started a couple of years ago. We've been struggling. The boys came, wanted to be, they were interested in fishing competitively. And, of course, high school fishing has become very popular, and they want to be a part of it. So we got a club together with the help of our principal at that time. It was Dallas Davis, and he's a big fisherman. And also one of the teachers there, Jason Duncan, agreed to be a sponsor. And so we kind of started from there and just fished a few little local with some of the schools in the area, Roane County, some places like that, fished Watts Bar mostly. And then we started getting in with the Bass Pro High School Series. And we did that for a couple of years, and we just fished our first tournament in the series back in November, which they did pretty good in. And so we're trying to get some interest from the school. We also struggle, like everyone else that has these clubs or teams, is getting enough boats. So we're trying to find some volunteers that would be captains and mentors that have boats that are, you know, be willing to spend a couple of weekends with these boys.
Yes, that's. I've talked to several of the clubs here. Their coaches in Anderson County and Campbell County and down in Roane County, same situation. They got a lot of kids sitting on the sideline because they can't get enough help with the boats. Right. You know, not enough boats for everybody, and you know, it takes a person that, in my opinion, that's got some time on their hands and got a boat and it's willing to pass their knowledge of fishing on to these younger people. And so I've been pleading with them here for a while now, and I'll let you guys know that if there's anybody out in the neighborhood that can give a Saturday or two a month, these high schools sure would appreciate it.
That's right. And I will want to give a plug to the Morgan County Bass Club.
Mm-hmm.
We're all members of that, and a lot of those guys there have been very helpful. Passing down a little bit of knowledge and that sort of thing. But a lot of those guys fish a lot of different tournaments also, so it's kind of hard to get them to commit. But they've been very, very helpful. The whole club has been very encouraging.
Well, that's great. I know some of those people in the Morgan County Bass Club, and they're good, fine people, and I'm sure they do their share of helping and all they can help with.
That's right.
Yeah, so that sounds good. But that, folks, that's just something to think about. Like I said, man, if the plea is more boats and more participation.
That's right.
And that kind of thing. So if you can help these high school bass clubs out, it'd be amazing. Now, Joey, they got, well, that's in the video. I ain't going to say no more about it. We're going to wait till we see that video because it explains a whole lot. Greg, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're playing in this role of the Bass Club.
Well, my son, Tyler Carter's in the Bass Club here and everything. Like Joey said, we are all members of the Morgan County Bass Club.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Joey take turns taking Tyler and Jackson because they're partners.
Right.
And so we've been taking turns doing that. And sometimes we've actually had more show up, and we've ended up bringing both boats and ended up taking other kids. And it's worked out pretty good.
Well, that's great.
My boat usually wins. It's a great thing.
That's pretty good.
So it works out. It works out pretty good.
There you go.
Tyler and I actually won the Classic for the Morgan County Bass Club 2 years ago. Back in 2014. And it was a real rough day, and a lot of them guys that's been fishing for years didn't come up with anything, and I don't know how we did. It worked out good for us. But whatever Tyler tied on, he'd get frustrated and set it down, and I'd pick it up and I'd catch fish. So it worked out.
That's good. Well, he learned and
we
you
all
learned too. We
Yeah.
all learned. That's great. It's wonderful. You guys are doing that. Let's get to these guys over here on that does this thing. Would you all have more participants if you had more boats from the school? Is there more kids out there? Let's let Tyler. What about that, Tyler? Do you have more people that would, more students that would get in the bass club if you had some more boats available?
I think there would be. There's quite a few that are interested. Like one of our friends, Jordan Lane, he's real interested. It's just, well, he plays basketball too, but if his dad had a boat or if he just had access to a boat, I know he'd be interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
And be wanting to go.
All right, that's there you go. With getting, I'll pass this along to you folks. They don't get to see the show out there in their area right now. Hopefully we can get something working for them in the near future. But they have to watch the show on YouTube, and I'll tell you some of the previous Bass Club people high school fishermen I've had over here before. There's some of them that was great athletes. The fishing just took over. I mean, they wanted to fish, and so they quit playing sports. And I'm not advocating that by no means, but I know how fishing is. And I thank goodness for my dad and some of my good friends for cluing us in on it. And because it gets in your blood. I mean, it's like NASCAR or anything else, man. You're sitting there like this, just waiting for them to turn us loose. I mean, why we what? I know all about it. Sit there, my foot's jumping on the accelerator, and I'm waiting to go.
That's right.
And it's adrenaline rush, and so it's a good thing. It really is. I love it. There's nothing like it, and I know you boys. If you don't by now or right now, you will later on. I promise you. It just keeps getting more and more involved in it. There's so many changes. let's go to Jackson. Jackson, give us a little bit about yourself there, son.
My name is Jackson, and I'm the vice president of our high school bass club. We started it out it was just me and Tyler at the first. We went to any teacher who would take us and said we'd like to start fishing competitively, and from there we got a little something started, and it hasn't progressed as much as we'd hoped, but it has progressed over time, and so I'm happy about that.
That sounds good. Isaac, what about you, man?
I'm the treasurer of the club.
You're the treasurer, the money man. That's the guy that always slows everything. But no, go ahead.
Zero.
Well, I kind of joined in the club later on, I guess.
What's your biggest fish you've caught to date? Weight-wise, just rough guess.
Any fish?
Yeah.
Maybe 25-pound catfish.
Yeah, that's okay. There's nothing. Hey, listen. If you're a bass fisherman, you're gonna catch a little bit of everything at this bottom line.
Sure.
Yeah, you're fishing a jig out there in about 20 foot of water, and it goes, then the drag takes off, and you know it's whiskers. In about 10 minutes, 30 minutes later, you get him in the boat, or get him up to the boat. So that happens. You can't, not all the bites are bass, I guarantee you. And you guys know that for sure. Anything particular you like about participating in the bass club? I mean,
it's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. You got a tournament coming up. What, March?
March the 5th.
March the 5th. Those tournaments this time of year, sometimes it's pretty cold weather.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So that can be a thing about getting on enough clothes and staying warm. That's a big deal. Let me ask you guys about the safety aspect of your fishing. You wear your life jacket all the time, or do you just what's the rules state in your club? What do you have to do to be legal and that kind of thing?
Just when the boat's running, have your life jacket on.
Okay. When the big engine's running,
Yeah.
You have to have your life jacket on, zipped up. That's kind of the way the big boys do too, I will say this, in cold weather, you might want to wear that thing
That's right.
all the time. Plus, it kind of helps keep you warm too. When you button that thing up tight and it pulls up, keeps that air from getting in between. It does me. It helps me stay warm. But the reason I'm throwing that out this time of year, you need to wear your life jacket because you've got 50 pounds of clothes on
right.
and boots on that you can't slip off. And, you get them full of water, and you guys are young. I'd never make it. When I hit the water, it's over. Because getting back up in that boat would be just, without somebody there to help me, it would be hardly, I can't imagine myself making it, time you get that suit wet and all them clothes and your boots is full of water and that thing. So think about that when you're out there fishing. You might want to keep it on this time of year. I'm just throwing that out at you because I hate to see something happen that would be bad. Let's go back to Tyler. What about your biggest fish, man?
Well, bass-wise, biggest smallmouth would be 4 pounds, and largemouth, I was real young, and it looked like 6 pounds at the time, but it may not have been. I showed people pictures compared to my foot, and they said it looked like 6 pounds, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'd say the biggest fish overall would be a rockfish or a stripe, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was around 25 or 30 pounds.
Yeah. Catch that on what bar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the steam plant out there.
Man.
Yeah.
That's a good place right there.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly, it used to be better than what it is now.
Really?
But they made some changes down there, and it changed the water discharge there, the heat, and the hot water doesn't come out like it used to. But I love that area there myself. And there is a lot of rockfish in Watts Bar Lake, and some big ones. Okay, Jackson, what about you, man?
Well, smallmouth-wise, Tyler here's he's the king when it comes to smallmouth.
Yeah.
But so mine probably won't measure up as good as his was. largemouth, I probably caught a 4-pounder. Fishing a jig is one of my favorite things to do. And overall, I'm in the same boat as him, and would probably be a rockfish, a 25-pound rockfish I caught.
Right. Watch bar also?
Yes, sir, but not on the steam plant. I was fishing some flats whenever they were busting on shad.
Yeah, they do that quite regularly. I tell you what, they've been doing that down there at Watts Bar pretty heavy in the back of those coasts for the last couple of months.
That's right.
I've lost 3 top water plugs, I know. 2 I wouldn't have took nothing for. I should have known better not to tie them on. If you got one you want to keep that's real good, don't tie it on when you're fooling them rockfish, because you'll lose it. It's gone. You just well throw it over in the woods somewhere. But man, listen, you guys seem real up to speed on what you want to do. What you just need some help to make things get bigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
This tournament you got coming up the 5th of March. Where's it at?
It's going to be on Norris.
Okay, Joey, you can help us out. That's Norris on Point 19, or
well, they're going at it. It says on their schedule. I think it's out of Anderson County Park.
Oh no, that's not Point 19. That is Point 9. That's where the pound and clinch meet, and down there at Anderson County Park. I know exactly where it's at. Been there a lot of times myself. It's a good area of the lake. Do you guys get to fish north a little bit? Not much.
Not much. I never have fished it.
Never have fished it?
No.
Let me add this, and then I need to hush up. But anyway, I'm going to tell you what my feeling is about this valley that we live in, that through here, from North Lake or from Bristol to Chattanooga, is the best fishing in the country. We got the best water. You can go up here at North and fish clear water, 100 foot deep, and you can go to Watts Bar and fish stumpy water that's 7, 8, 10 foot deep, and then you can go to Chickamauga and fish grass that's 3 foot deep. So we've got it all right here in this valley, and you got some great smallmouth fishing and stuff too. So if you haven't been to Norris, you will. I think my mics fell off. I'm glad I said a lot of that stuff and nobody heard it. You can go up there and fish 4-pound test line and for them smallmouth, and there's quite a few largemouth in Norris also. But I'll be, if you hadn't been there, I'll be tickled to death when you do get up there. It'd be a place to see. And I'll tell you another thing too. You got Loudon, Tellico over here too. The thing that you'll notice on Norris that's different from your fishing on Watts Bar is the drawdown in the wintertime. Norris goes 30, 40 feet, at times. It has been lower than that. But the thing I like about it is when you travel that lake, you're looking over here and you go back up there 2 months later, and you know where all them rocks and trees and stuff's at. At Watts Bar you see about 4 foot of what's on the bank, but up there you might see 30 feet, and then in the early spring and in the summer you see where what's there at your fishing. It's a real deal. I guess that's why I like it. But you'll learn that, not being your first time up there. And just something I want to throw that at you, so that when you do get up there and you're looking at these banks and these rock bluffs and all this kind of stuff, you'll know. Say, hey, I get. And when you go back and the water's full and the lake's up in the trees, you say, well, I know what's right out there, that kind of stuff. So anyway, just I'd throw that out at you. Anybody you guys like to say hello to, thank, or whatever,
Well, I'd like to say hello to if any of my friends are watching. Hi, guys. And thanks, Mom and Dad. Dad's over there, though. But thanks for helping me get through all this stuff and funding it so I can do this and have a chance of maybe becoming a professional one day.
I'd like to shout out to all the friends who I hope are watching. Hopefully they got a hold of it. my dad, who's sitting right there with you, just like Tyler said, thank you for funding everything.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't do it without that.
Oh, Lord.
I'd like to say hello to anybody out there, any friends watching, Mom and Dad. Thanks, Dad, for funding everything.
All right. Sponsors, you guys get any help from tackle stores, bait people?
We haven't so far, but we're looking at it right now. So I mean, we're just getting bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 years, we're all juniors. I mean, Jackson started it our freshman year, got it going, and so we're just growing a little bit, and we're finally been able to get some people that's looking into us, wanting to sponsor us. So, and plus our old principal, Dallas Davis, he was trying to get like Bunch Marine and people like that to help us out, but so maybe he can help us out too. So,
good deal. What about this gentleman you wanted to mention?
Well, Mr. Williams at Edgemore Outdoors.
Yes, sir.
He's been very helpful. I mean, we wouldn't call it a sponsorship, but he's very encouraging and seems to want to help the boys out a little bit. But also, you was mentioning the area we live in being you can fish anything from grass to deep water to muddy water to clear water.
Yep.
That's one thing that got Jackson interested in it too was, and he's a friend of mine too, but Brad Knight, won the FLW Forest Wood Cup.
Yes, sir.
He's friends of all of us here, and he, when you look at a lot of the professional fishermen, a lot of the guys from East Tennessee are feared because they know how to handle every situation.
That's exactly right.
And
exactly right.
When you start seeing some of the college programs that have started to develop with scholarship money and things like that, that gets you interested.
Yep.
And so hopefully one of these boys here or someone in the future from Wartburg or Morgan County could be going to college on a fishing scholarship.
There you go. I wanted you to bring that out. We're going to show that video right here in just a minute because it touches on everything that we've been talking about. And I think if you guys haven't seen it, I think you're going to enjoy it. So if that's all right with everybody, let's cut to that video, Herschel, and then we'll come back to us.
Hi, my name is Mark Ginner. I'm the National Youth Programs Coordinator for the Bass Federation. In the following presentation, we'd like to take just a few minutes to introduce you to one of the fastest growing high school sports in the country today. In case you haven't guessed it by my surroundings, it's high school fishing. In hundreds of school clubs across the country, students, parents, and faculty advisors are busy getting their school fishing clubs up and running right now. They'll join thousands of others who are already taking part in this great outdoor activity. We think this is a terrific way to re-engage students with the great outdoors and also help them promote key items of their education, things like math, science, and language arts. Now let's sit back and take a look at what all the excitement's about. Now, even if you're not an avid angler, the sheer fact that we've got thousands of students involved in a safe, healthy, family-oriented sport like fishing in the great outdoors has got to pique your interest. And as I mentioned before, we do this while promoting those key items of education. So let's take a quick look now at how things like math, science, and language arts are used by anglers out on the water every day.
Science is perhaps one of the most important elements of your education that you'll ever use in fishing. Knowing and understanding the physical aspects of water, habitat, and outside influences like weather and man are crucial keys that anglers must study to catch fish on a consistent basis. If we look at the science of water itself, we find that things like clarity, temperature, pH, and even the movement of water all affect how and where fish live. Water clarity is important as most fish do not have eyelids, so the amount of sunlight that is able to penetrate the water affects not only their vision, but also their comfort level and where they reside on a daily basis. Fish do not have the ability to adjust their eyes to changing sunlight like humans do. So bright sunlight shining through very clear water will tend to drive fish towards shady areas like a big tree or a boat dock. The temperature of water tends to act like a triggering device for fish. As the water warms up in the spring or cools down in the fall, it is a signal for fish to move, feed, spawn, and react in a variety of different ways. The pH of water is basically a measurement of whether the water is acidic or basic. Either one of these conditions make the water uncomfortable and even dangerous for fish. In simpler terms, it has a similar effect as you getting soap in your eyes when you're in the shower. Fish don't like those conditions just like you don't. Things like weeds and trees dying in the water tend to turn the water acidic and often lead to fish migrating away from these areas. Chemical runoff from agricultural areas or industrial facilities can even have more dramatic effect on the living habits of fish. The mere movement of water itself also has a great effect on the feeding habits of fish. Moving water or currents often carry nutrients and microorganisms which tend to attract the very smallest of fish. The cycle of life then kicks in as fish from every size move in to feed on those that are a little smaller than they are. Just like in the jungle, it becomes a battle and survival of the fittest. Weather, coastal tides, and the phases of the moon also have effects on the movements and feeding habits of fish. It is a proven fact that approaching weather fronts and certain phases of the moon will trigger different reactions in fish. Under certain conditions, there are times when fish will eat almost anything. Science also plays an important role in the conservation of our environment. Man's ability to study the natural and human effects imposed on our waterways better enables us to assist Mother Nature in the management of our resources. Being able to analyze elements like clarity, temperature, pH, and weather help us determine what is in the best interest of all species that occupy our lakes and rivers. Needless to say, science plays a huge role in the life of a fisherman.
We like to tell students and administrators alike that today's fishing boats, like these beautiful Ranger bass boats, are really high-speed science labs. Many of these boats are equipped with the latest in electronic technology to help anglers find fish through the analyzation of factors like bottom structure, water temperature, pH, water movements, and even atmospheric conditions. And once you catch your fish, the science of keeping them alive becomes extremely important, as most of these contests are catch and release type events, and anglers are penalized if their fish do not live. So knowing and understanding the fish themselves and what they need to survive is crucial to our student anglers in this sport. Wonder how language arts comes into play? Well, at almost all of our events, we actually interview our students when they bring their fish to the weigh-in scale. We feel this process builds exactly the same type of skills they're going to eventually need in a job interview down the road. At some point in time, a potential employer is going to ask them, "Tell me about yourself and why I should hire you for this position." Those students who are prepared and have the experience gained through this process created by fishing are going to excel over those who have not had this training.
As high school and college fishing continues to grow, many colleges and universities are now recruiting top high school anglers for their college fishing teams. This is creating new scholarship opportunities for students that have only been a dream a few short years ago. We also strive to make all of our awards at our state and national events in the form of trophies, plaques, and education-based prizes. As you can see, this is more than just fishing. This is promoting education through fishing.
Our surveys show us that one of the most powerful statistics in high school fishing is the fact that almost 60% of the students who participate in this sport were not previously involved in any other sport activity in their schools. We're engaging a whole new group of students and parents who might not otherwise have been previously engaged by your school or community. Just stop and think for a moment about the tremendous opportunity this creates for your school system. So how does this whole process start? We've made it very easy for you. Our website, highschoolfishing.org, gives you the avenue to get started with a wide variety of information, including the most recent articles on high school fishing events around the country and how our Student Angler Federation works, member benefits, and most importantly, where you can go to request for information on how to start your own school fishing club. Once you fill out the request for information, we will electronically send you a package of information to help you get started.
If you're a parent or student, your next step is to schedule an appointment with your principal or superintendent. There are typically 4 key ingredients they're interested in. The first is our outstanding insurance program. The Student Angler Federation has developed one of the most comprehensive insurance coverage programs in youth sports today. It starts with each and every member being covered with $1 million in liability coverage while they're at a regularly scheduled club event. There's $1 million in child abuse coverage, $25,000 in excess medical coverage, and $25,000 in Amber Alert coverage, which makes this one of the most comprehensive outdoor youth programs available to students today. The second most important thing on an administrator's mind is the cost of the program to the school. We are very aware of the financial constraints placed on schools today, so we have developed a terrific new fundraising program that allows schools today to raise all the money they need to help support this program. And we do that through our SolarBat Sunglass fundraising program. We know it's a unique approach, but we don't think it hurts to ask students to do a little bit of work to get something they want. The third item that's crucial to this program is our educational materials. We provide all of our member students with a 9-chapter workbook that is designed to assist them with their club meetings. The first chapter is actually a government class describing to students how you actually form a school club and elect officers. In addition to that, we have an exciting opportunity through an online education program called the Faculty of Fishing. All of our students receive the first 11 chapters of this program free as part of their SAF membership package. This is a very interactive program that allows anglers of all ages to improve their level of fishing knowledge. And last but not least, we provide a series of state and national level events, as well as assisting our member schools with many of their events through things like online registration and advertisement of upcoming events.
The Student Angler Federation is a turnkey program that can instantly bring a new, exciting activity to your school. We also find that we have the ability to attract a very diverse group of students who might not otherwise be engaged, either academically, through athletics, or extracurricular activities. And we give those students a very positive outlet in which they can excel in one of the most family-oriented sports there are, and that's fishing in the great outdoors. Now, where do you go to get started? Our website, highschoolfishing.org, is where it takes place, and you can request that electronic packet of information. High school fishing, you need to catch it at your school.
All right, gentlemen, I hope you guys got to see that and saw something that you didn't know about. You know, I thought that was a great video to get a bass club started and to help the ones that are already in. And I really wanted to let you see it and let the audience see it and the viewers, you know, let them know what you guys are up against and how it can help. Any particulars you guys want to mention? You know, take the mic there one at a time and tell us what you want like for us to know. That's all right. Take your time.
I guess one thing is, if anybody's interested in high school fishing, it's a fun thing to do, but it's also competitive, and I mean, you can win money at it, so you're really not going in a bad deal there. It's a lot better than playing basketball or football or something like that and get some money.
I agree with everything he just said, and I'd also like to thank Edgemore Outdoors for everything that they've done for us. They've helped us a lot, and I'd just like to give them a thank you.
All right.
I don't have much to say. Pretty much the same thing. It's a lot of fun.
Yep. Okay, guys, getting up early is no big deal on tournament day. Fired up, ready to go.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. That's a good deal. Guys, listen, you don't know, but to me, it's been a pleasure to have you over here. I hope that in the future we can get the show out in that neighborhood a little bit more. Keep working that way, and you know, when you do good in a tournament or you want to come back over, you just give me a buzz and we can get back together and you know, let everybody know how you're advancing in this fishing. Keep up with you a little bit. But I'm glad to have both of you, all three of you over here with me, and these gentlemen right here with me too. Joey, give us a little insight on what is at stake for these three guys right over here, or these student athletes in this fishing program. How can it advance, and how does it advance, you know, the next level?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, you know, that the FLW, Forest Wood champion, is from Wartburg.
Right.
Attended Wartburg High School. And I'm hoping that'll show that it doesn't matter where you come from, that if you want it bad enough. But what's at stake is scholarship money for college. There's also Jackson is actually is wanting to become a biologist and work in the fishing industry. We've got a family member that is a biologist for TVA. He also helps us out.
Right.
His name's John Justice, and he helps the team out from time to time. A gentleman named Rodney Craddock, who is went different levels in fishing. That's a friend of ours. But it opens up a lot of doors, and I think business-wise, career-wise, and education.
I agree with that. Just from my knowledge of what goes on, I've talked to several people, and you know, these colleges recruit these fishermen just like they do ball players. I mean, they'll tell you they want the top. You know, if there's 10 in the club, guys, and there's two that always finishes up high, that's the 2 they want. And it's no reflection on the other 8, but the colleges is always trying to build their, their support up.
That's right.
And so they're wanting the best of the best. And so that puts more competitiveness into these high school kids, you know, not only the money and all that, but it's that scholarship, you know, getting to be with the best team. So, you know, boy, I tell you what, I wish they'd have had this when I went to school. Golly, fun. Boy, goodness gracious. But anyway, you know, I'm glad to have you guys over here, and we're going to cut them. They're going to leave me, and not me running them off, but they're going to leave. Some of them, a couple of them's got a place to be, I think, Sonic or somewhere like that, huh? Was that what, some girls waiting, is that what it is? Yeah, I thought you was fishermen, man. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to have you guys over here. We're going to go into a little bit of fishing film here in a few minutes, and get Mike up here and tell us about his crappie fishing. But I do want to tell you guys this. You know the fishing show is this coming week, right? 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th at the Expo Center over here in Merchants Road there in Knoxville. And it's the biggest show in our area. So I guess you're planning on attending a couple of times anyway.
I don't think we've missed one yet.
It's a big deal. Matter of fact, I hope to get to see you where I'm probably going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So with Reynolds Racing and Marine, look us up back there. We'll look over some boats, and I'll have some business cards to give you and talk about some fishing and that kind of stuff. So I'm glad to get to go over there with them. I'm like you, I hadn't missed many of them.
And, right. They're fun.
They're fun. It's a great, yeah, it's just wonderful. You see a lot of good fishermen, a lot of good baits, rods, reels, boats, I mean, you name it. Before we leave you and I talked about it a minute ago, that video while I was watching that, was the electronics. And Greg, you mentioned the electronics too. What do you guys, about the electronics of this fishing? You got any comments you want to make? I mean, when I grew up, you used a cane pole. That's the best, or you paddle. You used your boat. That's the best depth finder we had. Now, you tell me what you've got.
I think electronics play a huge role in what fishing has become today. There's so much advancement that's come about. Stuff has went so far in from what it used to be, and it's made fishing a lot more precise. Make it a lot, I don't know, maybe you could say easier for you to find fish, find where they are, where they're heading, what they're doing.
Exactly, Jackson. You hit the nail on the head, man. Exactly. The fish don't have a chance anymore. It's almost
seems
cheap.
Like they do.
Yeah, I know, but it's really, if you can figure out what that depth finder fish locator is showing you. The poor fish just don't have a chance. I mean, it's almost cheating, you know. But there is every kind of little trick out there in the world. They got these little old dive. They got these floaters with cameras on them now, and you can watch the fish come up and under a floater and bite your bait and on your smartphone. I mean, man, it's just way over my head. And but the electronics, definitely, guys. I've been fishing for heck, I don't know, ever since 1963. And before that, Mike and I used to paddle my dad and my mom around, or one of his fishing buddies. We didn't have an electric trolling motor. We just had one motor on the back of the boat, a 10 horsepower, and then you had two paddles. And he sat on one side, I sat on the other, and we'd paddle them around and they'd fish. In 63, we bought a little old 3 horsepower Johnson that you swivel all the way around to go backwards, and mounted in on the back of the boat too, and then we'd go up the bank backwards so it'd go a little slower. And at that point, I got me a Zepco 33, and I got to fish. So, but it's changed tremendously. You know, you guys are right here in the middle of the epidemic, and fishing has just went viral, man. I mean, you know, to use the term that they use on the YouTube and stuff, it's just went overboard. I mean, there's no holding back, and electronics is right at the top of the list. So, but they're expensive. You gotta have that stuff's expensive, man. So you thank your dad for footing the bill, you know. You might want to get that 3 or 4 hour job of evening out there at the Sonic, and you know, to help pay for that new depth finder, something like that, you know, and so you can catch more fish and be up to date and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, guys, I'm just funding you a whole lot, but you're exactly right about the electronics, and I wish the best for you, and anything we can do here at the show to help you, all you got to do is call me.
Thank you.
Be more than glad to do whatever we can.
All right, we appreciate that greatly.
All right. Herschel, are you ready for the fishing film? I am. All right, let me shake hands with these guys one more time.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it, guys. All right, folks, there they go. They're going to leave me, and we're going to go to some fishing film. All right, Mike, hold your bait up there. Folks, Mike and I are down here on Wartburg. We're down here below Rockwood Slough, back in the creek here. And there's what Mike's rigged up for each crappie. And remember the sponsors there. Can't do the show without them. And let's go fishing. It's awful foggy this morning, and we're gonna see if we can get on these crappie. Mike, get on it there.
Yeah, now I want you to look at my hooks. They're turned up now. They're not turned down like yours.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna check that out today real close. Okay, looks like you're ready to go. Little shot of what we're looking for there, right here. Uh-oh, I touched the screen. I forgot that's a touch screen. Oh goodness. Better clear that back off there, Mike. I got your courser up there in the middle of the screen there. I guess I hit when I touched it, it marked it as a waypoint. As you can see, you'll figure that out there in a second.
I don't know, you got it messed up where I can't do nothing with it.
Yeah, I forgot about touching that screen, Mike. Alright, we'll let you get fishing and figure it out later. Okay.
You got it froze. Won't move.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, get on it there.
Yeah.
Now, folks, as you can see, we got the, I hope I got a good picture of that on Mike's camera. I should have viewed that. Should have used my camera where I could see what I'm shooting. You can see the menace down there on that. Must be a rock or something there. Yellow on the bottom. Here comes some more minnows in there about 20 feet deep, another school. So we're gonna see if we can get on these crappie here. Water still got a little color to it. We're gonna give them a try here. May have to dye our minnows chartreuse, Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
Alright.
Red dye.
Alright.
Alright, folks. Looks like Steve found one there. I missed that brush pile. Let him get on top of it. I'm gonna have to quit that.
Yeah. Well, that's a good one too, Mike.
That's a nice one, too.
Alright.
You'll eat good.
You'll
That's the
eat
first
good.
one in the box, and we'll get back after them here.
Okay. Get on.
Yeah. I got you on now. I know.
Yeah. Golly bum.
There's
Man.
another nice one.
Well, Mike, that's unusual for me to have two in the boat and you none.
Well, I
It's
missed
usually-
mine, so you know.
Yeah, it's usually 5 to nothing, or 5 or 6 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got you under a handicap today. I'm gonna
Yeah.
pour it on you.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
Where
I'm
that?
fishing them dead minnows too.
Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll stay after it there. See if we can get another one.
Buddy, folks, Mike's jerked up a whopper of a crappie right there. I mean a dandy. Boy, Mike, that's a nice one. Man, you got him hooked good too. Yeah, boy, he wanted that minnow, didn't he?
Definitely wanted that man.
Yeah, buddy. Buddy, that is a nice one. All right, Mike, good job. Whew, man.
He's one that filled the frying pan up.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Mike. That's exactly right. Okay, folks, we're going to get back at it here.
Yeah, Steve found him another one there.
Yeah, that's just a keeper, Mike.
Just
He's
a
not a
keeper.
giant. Just a good keeper.
Just a good keeper, too.
Yeah, about 11 inches there.
Let me.
All right. We're in the box.
In the box. Just stay after, see what we can find.
Yeah. That big, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the thing?
He's found him a catfish on that grub. All right, Herschel, you can get back in the water.
Yeah.
Moved around here and got on a different brush pile. Steve, he fooled around there and he found one.
Yeah. Got a good one there, Mike.
A nice one, too.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Now then, let's just double up here right quick.
That's
All
good.
right, folks. my high school guys have left, and I got my right-hand man here with me. And Mike, let's get on to this crappie fishing now. We showed some things there on the fish locator that I thought was real important, and you was using them chartreuse minnows, wasn't
Yeah.
you? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's Mike's been after the crappie for a little while, but down there Saturday, that's when we shot that film right there, Mike. We had 7 big crappie and 1 just keeper crappie.
Yeah.
And 8's all we wound up with, which all meant we started late and we quit early. But they're still not exactly right.
No,
I mean,
no, they wasn't exactly right, and I think the water clarity had a lot to do with that. The water hadn't cleared up enough from all that rain. It's still got quite a bit of color to it, and I think they'll get better as the water clears up.
Right. I said earlier we wanted to be more informative this year than we were last year about how and why and this, that, and the other. Showing that the fish finder what we were looking for, because you're fishing offshore. You're out there in the middle of the creek or in the middle of the cove, and you're hunting for stuff that's 20 foot deep. You're not going to see it, unless they drain the lake.
That's right.
And so that fish finder is a key. Layer electronics is a big key to what you're trying to do down there with those crappie. Granted, Saturday as we went by Caney Creek, there was 4 people standing on the bank up there throwing out in the middle there above the road with floaters.
They was.
And I just about guarantee you they caught some crappie, but I don't how many, and they may have caught more than we did. But the type fishing you're doing with that drop shot rig is for the crappie is just different. I mean, it's putting the bait right down in the structure, and you can't just throw it over there on the bank. It just don't work, does it?
No, it don't work too good like that.
So you're fishing pretty much straight down and none beside the boat, half a rod out. If you're setting down, and you're sitting right there you're just dropping it right down in there on their nose.
Yes.
You can find it. So, any specialty thing that you can, I'm going to comment on this, Mike. Is the bite you get? Let's talk about that little tick that you feel that's not much more than a bluegill bite. But
That's
when
true. That's true.
But when you get the hook in it, it's a big old slab crappie.
Yeah.
15, 17 incher. But the son of a gun and we caught several bluegill doing the same thing. And they just, just like they do when they're redworm fishing. Well, they just keep pecking on that minnow trying to get him off that hook. And then next thing you know, there's a big old crappie just done the same thing. And if you don't jerk or just kind of give him a little tug back, you think it's another bluegill.
You sure do.
And and then you turn right around and you drop it on another pile, and that thing, he'll take the rod out of your hand.
He sure will. Them catfish do that pretty good too.
The catfish they always bite hard, seems like.
Yes.
But and today, Mike and I were crappie fishing today, and the best ones we caught, the best 2 or 3 of them that I caught, I just swore it was a bluegill.
Yes, sir.
I mean, just come up there like that, and then whenever he pecked it, just load that rod up, and hey, dadgum, that's a crappie. It's a dandy.
Sure is.
So, all I can tell you is if you're fishing the way we're fishing for them crappie, you better be on your toes. it might be a bluegill, 3, 4, 5 inches long, and it might be a crappie, 3 pounds. They seem like they bite about the same, a lot of them. And then you run over here and drop down on another tree, and that crappie will just knock the fool out of it.
You sure will. You sure will. They get after them minnows now. They really like them minnows.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I don't know what else you plan on catching them on, but I haven't had a bite on a grub yet, and I've been throwing it off and on, and hadn't caught the first one on.
That's true.
So I've tried 4 or 5 different colors and everything else. Usually, grub fishing was excellent down there. But anyway, don't have much time. Herschel, you're going to save us time for a commercial, so remember my sponsors, folks. I can't, I want to thank them. Can't do the show without them. And these young people that was over here, that was just the whole purpose right there. The sponsors helped, sponsor me, and I wanted to get them involved in what was going on, let them know we appreciate them having interest. Right quick, Billy and B.J. Henderson had a bag of smallmouth lice Saturday a week ago on Norse, weighed almost 22 pounds, 5 fish. That's a pretty dang good bag of smallies, Mike.
You better believe.
That's a pretty good bag of smallies. East Tennessee Sportsman Association meeting next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, Rome Street Grill in Harriman. Don't forget that. Jack Raines called me yesterday about the Christmas trees. If TWRA, TVA's putting trees in like they used to do. So if anybody knows anything about that, please contact me or Jack Raines and let us know, and I will pass that along to the Sportsman Association there Tuesday night. Folks, it's been great. We're working on, headed for our 3rd or 4th year come next month, and God bless you, and we'll see you next week.
What have you, remember, they've got these truck cars here. They're stacked up overhead high. I mean, just hundreds of them. So don't forget that. And you specialty tires, your ATVs, lawn tractors, skid steers. They've got about, there ain't no doubt about it. He's got any kind of tires you're looking for, and if they don't have it, they can get it for you, I guarantee you. But they've got a bunch of different tires here in stock, and make sure you think of them if you need some tires. Folks, showing you just a few more of these tires. I'm telling you, there's a warehouse full of tires here. Also, right here, we got these trailer tires, and out of that 100 that he ordered, I don't see very many left. I was told he was going to get some more. So if you're still needing those trailer tires, utility boat trailer tires, folks, right here be a good chance you get a good price on them, and they're nice tires. So remember Tim's Tire, and if you're needing tires of any kind or any size, give them a shout. Thank you.
Country Fresh Foods. You may not know the name, but you definitely know the taste. Our homemade fudge is shipped all over the country. Its quality is unmatched, and it's made right here in Oliver Springs. But you don't have to travel all over to enjoy it. You can get it right here at our retail store, Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts. The highest quality fudge in a countless variety of flavors. And we also carry a variety of candy and unique gifts for you to enjoy. Come enjoy the taste you have loved for years at Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts in Oliver Springs, a division of Country Fresh Foods.
Rodney and Kay Harback invite everyone to come on over to Rome Street Grill to experience a pleasant dining experience with them. Rodney knows how important it is to get folks back to work after lunch, so they have a speedy lunch at Rome Street Grill. They will get you in and get you out. Every day they have a special at lunch. Order off the menu. So go visit the fine folks at Rome Street Grill. Call them at 865-285-6025. That's Rome Street Grill, across from Jerry Duncan Ford in Harriman. Call them at 865-285-6025.